Hello students, welcome to another session of Daily News Decoded. Today, I will be discussing with you the important articles from today's newspapers. The first one we will be going through is India's health infrastructure. Okay, and next we will be going for the four articles which are important for prelims, which is one is sliding rupee, then the recent announcement of Donald Trump on Gaza, then the renaming of Fort William, and the last we will discuss the warming of North Pole. So let's jump straight into our first article. So the first article talks about a green signal for India to assert its health leadership. Okay. Yes. So the backdrop of it comes from the union budget. Okay. It has a number of provisions which is intended to promote India's healthcare infrastructure. Okay, its relevance comes from the GS2 part, GS2 paper. Okay, under the heading of issues relating to development and management of social services and relating to health, and GS3 because it also talks about new research and development in a particular topic under healthcare. So we have science, technology, health and diseases part. Okay, so health has been quite important regarding mains. Okay, we have been getting questions repeatedly from this particular section. Okay, in 2020 we got one which talked about the enhance the prospects of social development, sound and adequate healthcare policies in particular geriatric and maternal health. Okay, in 2020 we got a question on nanotechnology. How is it how is the development of nanotechnology helping in the health sector? Okay, and next we had the introduce the concept of AI, how AI is going to change or impact the healthcare infrastructure. Okay, so talking about the particular article, okay, it has three major strategies in mind. Okay, one is about bolstering medical infrastructure. Like we will see, it has supposed a number of new medical colleges and more number of medical seats, like more number of MBBS and MD seats. Okay, expand education opportunities. Like I said, what will happen is that when we create new infrastructure, like if we have a new hospital, okay, it will need a number of doctors. Okay, and all of these hospitals, new upgraded or brownfield or greenfield projects, these hospitals will also have medical colleges associated with it, attached to it, and those will train new doctors as well. Okay, next, promote global collaboration. The idea is if we have surplus number of doctors, good quality doctors, we can serve the international needs, like promoting medical tourism and even exporting doctors. Okay, like even today a good number of top doctors from Europe and America are from Indian descent. Okay, next we have specific details what was discussed in the budget. Okay, it talks about allocation of 90,958 crores for healthcare. Okay, with this they propose to open up a number of colleges and also upgrade a number of colleges. Okay, the goal is to have 75,000 medical seats in the next 5 years, and in this particular financial year, like financial year 26, the goal is 10k medical seats. Okay, next, investments in daycare centers. We have opened a number of daycare cancer centers. Okay, daycare cancer centers, as in they will be treating cancer patients, but it will be like OPD. Okay, the patients need not be admitted and they would get all their medicines, chemotherapy, and they without getting admitted in the hospital. Okay, and this will also help them schedule their appointments better. Okay, next, enhancing accessibility and quality of care. Like I said, a lot of money will be invested in upgrading the infrastructure. Okay, next we have two key initiatives: Heal by India and Heal in India. Okay, one, Heal in India, talks about medical tourism. Like in a recent index, India found itself on the 10th position. Okay, there have been in last year 7.3 million patients have traveled to India for healthcare. Okay, and the budget and the money it generated was 7.69 billion, and this particular sector in India has been seeing 14 to 15% of growth CAGR. Okay, like every year they are growing at this rate. Okay, Healed by India, Healed by India, we are talking about healthcare infrastructure for Indians. Okay, like 26 aims are proposed. Okay, we have 22 now, 4 new have been proposed, and there have also been talks about having even more number of aims. Okay, next we have 10K seats by FY26. I said they have a goal of 75K seats in 5 years and 10K seats in this year, increasing the number of seats. Okay, so these two initiatives will help the development of healthcare infrastructure for Indians, as also cater to the international demand. Okay, next, government interventions, what it is actually doing. Okay, focus on non-communicable diseases and specialized treatment. This time, this particular domain, like non-communicable diseases, okay, it found mention and a specific allocation has been done regarding that. Okay, customs duty exemption on life-saving drugs, like a number of cancer drugs, okay, has been exempt from duty, thereby bringing its price down. Okay, so it will also help in the cancer treatment and cancer patients of even coming from abroad. Okay, next we have 30 new patient assistance programs. Okay, an emphasis on artificial intelligence and digital health, like the digital infrastructure will be expanded in the hospitals, in the currently existing hospitals as well. Okay, so what will happen is that the government, the doctors, the public sector doctors will be able to cater to people in online mode as well. Okay, more number of appointments, more number of people will be able to access the professional healthcare services in the public sector. Okay, National Centers of Excellence, this has been proposed. It will look into the medical research, okay, and how new technologies can be integrated with the current healthcare infrastructure. Okay, enhanced public-private partnerships. Okay, this is very important because as of now we have around 70,000 hospitals. Okay, out of that 45,000 are in private sector and 25K, like 27K are in public sector. Okay, so as the number of private hospitals are much more than than public sector hospitals, the government needs to use this particular infrastructure developed by private sector to cater to the needs of public. Okay, for that we need better proposals, we need better policies, like what happened in Ayushman scheme. A number of private sector hospitals were taken in, okay, were associated, but because of delays in payment, now they are cancelling the contracts and they are not accepting Ayush cards in Ayush and the Ayushman Bharat cards in the hospitals. So government needs to come up with better policies to take advantage of this existing healthcare rather than making new hospitals. Okay, next we have a number of challenges which has been keeping this sector. Okay, like affordability. Yes, medical medical treatment is expensive. Okay, specialized healthcare is especially quite expensive. Okay, next we have healthcare gap between rural and urban areas. Like we know 45,000 hospitals are in private sector, 25,000 hospitals are in public sector. So what happens is that the private players will only invest in places where they can recoup the money. Okay, so this is why you see in cities there are a number of private hospitals. Okay, but in rural areas and underpopulated areas and areas with low population density, you don't see private hospitals and they are dependent on public sector networks. Okay, skewed presence of private healthcare facilities. Okay, like I said, the urban rural divide. Okay, next we have growing burden of non-communicable and lifestyle diseases like hypertension, BP, diabetes. Okay, these are now coming up as strain, very major strains on the healthcare system, because these, even if these diseases don't impact a person directly, but over the long run it weakens the body and which becomes a burden on the healthcare sector. Okay, lack of innovation and research, like I also said, we have a new center for excellence. It is to exactly cater to this particular demand, particular problem. Okay, Next we have way forward. What can we do about it? Okay, enhancing digital and data driven healthcare. We need AI and ML. Okay, there have been ideas have been floated, like what can be done is that like for consultation and suggesting, like everyone who has been diagnosed with say diabetes or hypertension can be catered to at once using say video conferencing. Like everyone who needs consultation and advice for diabetes maintenance, so maintenance of the sugar level, can join a particular meet wherein a doctor will be addressing them. Okay, so that is using technology to improve the efficiency and productivity of the healthcare professional. Okay, next we have bridging urban rural healthcare gaps. Like I said, there are more number of private hospitals and those are specifically located in high density areas, urban areas. So government should come up with policies which will subsidize, okay, and promote healthcare sector, private healthcare in rural areas as well. Okay, next, infrastructure and workforce. We need skilled healthcare professionals, okay, and integrated healthcare professionals. Like what happens is that yes, a lot of focus is on the number of doctors. Like I said, we have targets of number of MBBS seats, but we don't see that kind of enthusiasm when it comes to paramedicals, like physiotherapists, okay, ophthalmologists, nurses, okay, and other healthcare professionals apart from the doctors. Okay, so we need focus on those areas as well. Okay, like a hospital cannot be run by 500 doctors. Okay, they need support system, they need support staff for that, okay, who are well trained. Okay, so we need to focus on that as well, rather than just having the focus only on the number of doctors and churning out doctors. Okay, we need people to help them as well. Okay, so that is about the healthcare infrastructure of the country as of now, and how the budget is promoting new ideas, like we saw the Heal in India and Heal by India initiative. So now we'll go to the next topic. Okay, we have a practice question for you as well. Okay, India has emerged as a key player in global healthcare tourism, offering world-class medical services at competitive costs. Okay, however, several challenges hinder its vision of becoming a leading healthcare tourism hub. Okay, critically analyze the challenges, suggest measures to overcome them. Like the point we discussed, healthcare Heal by India. Okay, under that we talked about medical tourism. Okay, those are the points you can use here, and you can practice this answer. So coming to the next topic. So the next topic for today is a tough call, and sliding rupee is a tough call for RBI. Okay, as there is a monetary policy committee meeting is coming up for this quarter, and ministry is pushing for RBI to increase the rates, the interest rates. Okay, and here we see RBI recently had a leadership change. Okay, a new governor has been appointed, so it is expected that this government will bring in a few changes in the monetary policy meet. Okay, and we know the rupee has been depreciating. Okay, we have covered this in greater detail on the session on 17 January. Okay, you can go back and watch that particular video to know all about the depreciating rupee. We'll discuss it in brief. Okay, like rupee hit 85 against the dollar on December 19th, it hit 86 against dollar in January 13th, and it hit 87 on February 3rd. Okay, so we see the trajectory has been going down. Okay, the reason for that is that it's not the rupee which is going down, it's the dollar which is appreciating. Okay, because it is appreciating with respect to against every other currency. Okay, so every other currency is depreciating with respect to dollar. Okay, so that is also happening with rupee. So what it is primarily, it had started earlier. Okay, but it has escalated before with Donald Trump's inauguration. Okay, so his policies are very volatile. Okay, so the people's faith, okay, on their domestic currency, okay, has come down, because for international transactions, dollar is the only valid token of exchange, currency of exchange. So people are buying dollars, and as the demand of dollar increases, its value increases, and because of that, the relative value of their domestic currency is coming down. So that is what's happened with rupee. Like India has not taken any major decisions which might have impacted but because the dollar is appreciating at a faster rate, okay, so we are facing the brunt for it. Okay. Next, we have impact. What's the impact of depreciating rupee? Okay, higher imported inflation. Okay, what happens that we import a lot of things, like just last year we imported 102 billion dollars worth of crude oil, just crude oil, and overall in imports was around 140 billion dollars. Okay, so if the rupee depreciates, the value, the money going out will increase. Okay, wider current account deficit, like I said, as imports become costlier, okay, this deficit will increase. Okay, next we have capital outflows. As I said, a weak rupee we will need to have pay more of those against the dollar. Okay, so capital outflow will increase. Okay, next we have higher external debt burden. As we know, India is a developing country. It makes sense for India to borrow from foreign banks, foreign institutions. Okay, but because that loan is taken and returned in dollar, okay, now when the dollar has appreciated, India is at a disadvantage when paying back that particular loan. Okay, and then short term export advantage, like there is a silver lining to this particular scenario, is that as rupee depreciates, the importers, the price of imports, exports will come down. So India's exports can become more competitive. Like it happened with China as well. Like China used to devalue its own currency to make it profitable exporter. Okay, so even if India did not take major steps to devalue its currency, as it has devalued, India can now focus on how to use this situation best by exporting things. Okay, exporting the domestic goods and services. Okay, so it is not a sustainable thing for us, because as I said, the CAD and the capital outflows, the loan repayments, all are causing a strain on India. So we need to look at it and improve the scenario. So what we can do, RBI did is, suggesting is that boosting urban middle class consumption. Okay, like if we increase the consumption, okay, then we can improve the overall economy. Okay, government effort. Recently government has said, change the tax bracket, and people earning less than 12 lakhs per annum need not pay tax. Okay, so this will add to around 1 lakh crores of added disposable income. Like earlier this amount would have gone to the government as direct tax, but now this is at with the people, so they can now spend it. This has become part of the disposable income, so it is expected to boost the economy. Okay, next, RBI governor. With a new governor, the government expects that they will balance growth concerns, inflation risk, and money stability. Like you cannot just focus on money, stability of money, and not look after the economy as a whole. Okay, so that is the debate between the government and the RBI. So we will see what happens in the next MPC meet. So but there's a one practice question for you. You can attempt this question. Okay, so next news is again regarding Trump. Okay, he has caused a lot of turmoil, okay, in international relations. Okay, recently, just yesterday, he came up with a plan, like that America would take over Gaza Strip and develop it. Okay, as we know, it was a very it was a disputed territory. Okay, a lot of countries were involved in trying to bring peace to this particular area ever since the Israel Hamas war. Okay, and after long effort by a number of countries, okay, the area could see some peace, and now Donald Trump has caused a storm in a teacup again. Okay, saying that we have a very different plan, like it's his unilateral plan. All of the allies have already rejected it. So we will see what this particular plan is. Okay, its relevance is current affairs, international relations. Okay, so what does the Trump plan entail? Okay, you will be able to watch the detailed discussion on Hamas Israel Palestine conflict on our video on 18th of January. Okay, you can go to that video and watch it again. Okay, so what Trump proposes is United States will assume control of Gaza Strip. Okay, like they will take it over. They will do economic development there. Okay, like they will set up industries there. Okay, so the plan is not very clear that how exactly are they planning to do so. Okay, and they are talking about establishing a global community on Gaza Strip, which will have representatives from various nations, including Palestinians. Okay, so sounds like a too good to be true an idea. Okay, like this very disputed land which has been in conflict for decades, out of nowhere, and suddenly will develop into a Singapore or a Hong Kong. Okay, so that's how the plan has been proposed. We'll see what will happen. Okay, and another controversial idea is that out of the 1.8 million Palestinians displaced, he has requested the neighbor countries like Jordan and Egypt to take over them. Okay, people to move there, and these countries to help in their resettlement. So this has not gone down well with the people of Palestine and the other neighboring countries as well. Okay, so no one is happy with this particular plan, and all its allies are against this plan. So we'll see how it goes, what happens there. Okay, a little about Gaza Strip. It's a land strip just at the coast of Israel. Okay, it is just 365 square kilometers big. Okay, it is between Mediterranean Sea and Israel. Okay, so it has been under military occupation since 1967. We have the 6-day war. 6-day war happened in 1967, and ever since this area has been under Israeli occupation. Okay, so there are 3 functional gateways. These gateways or crossings had been quite important because these were the areas where the humanitarian aids were passing. Okay, first was Karem Abu Salem. Okay, like this one, this particular area was goods crossing, and then there was Erez crossing. Okay, these 2 were under Israeli control, and one Rafah crossing. Okay, which was controlled by Egypt. So these are names of 3 crossings. Okay, these had been in news because a lot of obstructions were being created by Israeli civilians as the international community was trying to send in aid, humanitarian aid to this area. Okay, so this is what happened in the development regarding the Israel and Gaza. Okay, next we saw a renaming. Okay, Fort William, a major landmark of Kolkata. If anyone has been there, he might have heard about this. Okay, it has been renamed as Vijaydurg. Okay, it has relevance in current issues, national importance, and Indian history. Okay, so Fort William was built in the year 1781. Okay, and it has been named after King William III of England. Okay, it used to serve as a headquarters for Eastern Command of Army. Okay, it's a very major base of Eastern Command. Okay, it has a lot of underground infrastructure as well. Okay, it is very well protected place. Okay, so it used to be a landmark of Kolkata. Okay, Fort William is very famous locality. Okay, so this particular settlement, okay, establishment, okay, headquarter has been renamed to Vijaydurg. Okay, which draws reference from the Maratha naval fort along the Sindhudurg coast used by Chhatrapati Shivaji. So Chhatrapati Shivaji had a navy. Okay, and this Vijaydurg, which is on the Sindhudurg coast, was used by them as a naval base. Okay, so it is the name and idea has been taken from there. Okay, so we see it is not an isolated event, and it comes from a sequence of events, line of other renamings. Okay, the renaming, famous popular renamings have been Fort William has been renamed as Vijaydurg. Then we have Kitchener House. Okay, it's a building inside Fort William. Okay, and this has been renamed as Manekshaw House to honor Sam Manekshaw, Field Marshal Sam Manekshaw. Okay, and South Gate, which was earlier called as St. George's Gate, has been renamed as Shivaji's Gate. Okay, so this the renaming, okay, of earlier British names into Indian names has been coming up a lot lately. Okay, right, like Ross Islands of Andaman Nicobar has been renamed as Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose Dweep. Okay, Neil Island has been renamed as Shahid Dweep, and Havelock has been renamed as Swaraj Dweep. Okay, this happened a couple of years ago. Okay, and this is latest. So we see a number of steps have been taken, okay, to erase the colonial legacy of India. Okay, like last year we changed the naval ensign. So this is the new naval ensign used by Indian Navy. Earlier, like here there is an anchor. Earlier there used to be a cross here. Okay, so that cross was used by all the erstwhile colonial armies and navies. Okay, so India replaced it, okay, with a anchor now. Okay, and this, it has been replaced by octagonal seal, which again was inspired by the seal used by Chhatrapati Shivaji. Okay, like another important news was the changes in the beating retreat ceremony. Like the songs which used to be played during that ceremony has been changed. Okay, and a number of ceremonial attires which was used since colonial times have been changed to Indian attires to suit the Indian needs and Indian ideas and culture. Okay, and the primary idea was the elimination of colonial influence. Okay, like why do we need to eliminate this influence? Okay, was that it marks a shift from colonial traditions to indigenous military customs. The idea is that because India has been independent for like 75 years now, we can slowly, okay, look ahead, okay, and try to erase, okay, the colonial legacy, okay, the things that remind us of our subservience for 2 centuries. Okay, next, reinforces national pride and historical legacy, like in military, like Fort William. Okay, we don't even know what Fort William is. Okay, no one knows Fort William, like which William is this named after. Okay, so why do we commemorate? What's the need to commemorate? So they came up with the idea and changed it to something we can relate to. Like now people call it Vijaydurg, and they can listen to, they can know about the story of Vijaydurg, of how Chhatrapati Shivaji maintained a navy in his times. Okay, and strengthens the connection to India's military heritage with its rich past. Okay, so this is a practice question regarding that. Next, we see temperature at North Pole increased by 20 degrees above average. Okay, so what happens is now recently we see that the Arctic region, okay, has been facing very high increased temperatures. Okay, there are a number of reasons for that. We will see why. Okay, like on February 2nd, okay, temperature were 20 degrees Celsius above average of the North Pole. Okay, like Svalbard, it's in Norway. Okay, it saw temperature 18 degrees Celsius above the 1991 to 2020 average. Like the 30-year average, the temperature was 18 degrees more than the 30-degree average. So it points towards a trend of global warming. Like slowly the poles are getting heated up. Okay, so we see, and even now the trend what has been is that the heat here is more, the temperature change measured here is more. Okay, the Arctic has warmed 3.8 times faster than the global average since 1979. Okay, global temperatures increased by 1.3% since the 1900 baseline. Okay, so we see it's not new. Okay, we know that temperature has been rising, but the increase of 20 degree, that was news for us. Okay, so what caused this, why it happened? Okay, low pressure system over Iceland. Okay, over Iceland, as low pressure system came down, okay, it locked in the hot air, and the hot air could not move out of it. Okay, and it kept raising the temperature. Okay, hot sea surface temperature, the area around the Arctic Sea. Okay, the sea surface temperature also increased because of these wind pressure systems. Okay, albedo effect, like albedo is when as ice melts, like albedo, what happens is that the poles are cooler because it is able to reflect almost 100% of the light it gets, sunlight it gets. Okay, but now as the ice melts and the water is exposed, the water absorbs heat, okay, more than sand, more than ice. Okay, so what happens is that because this ice cover is coming down, the temperature is going up because they are absorbing more water, more heat. Okay, lack of convection. Okay, because of, I said, low temperature. Okay, the heat could not be dissipated. It is getting converged in a particular area, and that is causing heating of that particular area. And we have the idea of polar amplification. So it's a concept. It says that the temperature difference will always be more in the poles. Like a rough figure is that if at the equator the temperature change is say 1 degree, okay, at the poles it would be 8 to 10 degrees or more. Okay, so this is the polar amplification, and these are the probable causes for that particular phenomena. Okay, so what is the global implication of this Arctic warming? Okay, rapid warming could disrupt global weather patterns and contributes rising sea levels. As we know, poles are the reservoir of fresh water. The water is locked as ice. As the temperature increases, it will dissolve further, it will melt more, and it will increase the sea levels. Okay, next, positive feedback. Okay, this idea is important because what is happening is that as the Arctic ice melts, new areas are getting opened up which have a lot of fossil fuel deposits. Okay, so as people go there and mine those fossil fuels and bring it out, we'll see that amount of carbon coming in the atmosphere will increase, which will further cause global warming. So this becomes a positive feedback loop. Okay, global warming will give us more access to fossil fuels, and burning that will give to more global warming. So that is the idea of positive feedback loop. Okay, urgency, because once we lose the ice at the poles, there is no way we can go back. Okay, so there is an urgency of the situation. Okay, continuous rise in Arctic temperatures pose severe risk for global climate stability and in the atmosphere. Okay, so this is a practice question regarding for this particular topic, North Pole region. So these are the 5 topics for the day. Follow us for more such videos. Thank you.